Hey guys, so I'm going to be using TI-Nspire to graph differential equations and slope fields, which is a pretty cool feature that I found while playing around. So I'm going to go, I'm going to graph here, and I'm going to go to menu. And one thing that a lot of people don't realize is that when you've got the menus pulled up, you don't have to navigate them with the cursor necessarily. You can actually just navigate by numbers. So I want something that's under the graph entry edit menu, and I'm actually just going to hit the 3 key on my keyboard. You can see over to the left, I just typed 3. And then differential equations is down there under number 8, diffeq. So I'm going to hit the 8 key. And so this is slightly different from the normal, Command G or Control G if you're on a Windows, because there's the little prime. So it's y1 prime, right? Because this is a differential equation, so this is going to be my dy dx equals. And so I'm just going to do a really relatively simple one. I'm going to do y plus 1, but because the TI-Nspire is interpreting this as y1 prime, that means I need to put y1 instead of just putting y. So I'm going to do y1 plus 1. And I also need to give it an initial condition. Or rather, if I don't give it an initial condition, I can just get the slope field. So let me actually go ahead and show you that first. If I just hit enter, there's my slope field. Pretty cool. A lot easier than trying to draw it by hand or anything. But I'm going to go back to it. So I'm going to hit my Control or Command G, hit the up arrow to go back to where I was at y1 prime. And I'm going to give it an initial condition to get a specific graph of the differential equation. So I'm just going to go through the point 0, 1. So I'm going to do down here 0, tab 1. Oh. If ever you have tabbed too far, if you've accidentally hit the tab key twice, you can hit shift and then tab, and it will tab backwards for you. That's pretty handy. And that works in a lot of apps. That's not just an Inspire thing either. Anyway. I'm going to hit enter, and I have the whole slope field, but then I also have this specific solution to the slope field with that initial condition 0, 1. Now, I can go back with my Command G, and I can change, I can say, okay, well, let's instead go through -2, 1, and what would that solution be? But I also can look at multiple solutions at the same time, which is kind of cool. So going back to my y1 prime, so this little section here, if I hit enter on that little, plus sign with the graph, I can actually graph several initial conditions at once. So I can have the solution that passes through -2, 1. I can have the solution that goes through 0, 1, and it will graph them both. I can say, well, maybe that's what the graph is behaving like in that neighborhood, but I see some negative slopes down here. Let's go back and see what that would look like. So let's try maybe a 5, -3 to get something down there in the 4th quadrant. Enter. And there's a very different solution, even though it's the same slope field, it's the same differential equation. So I just thought that was cool. That could be used in AP Calculus AB, kind of towards the end of the course once you start getting to solving differential equations.